Knowing about the definite and referential expressions is also important to understand the information structure and pragmatic meanings of a text or discourse. Among many reasons, one of the common reasons to discriminate between definite and indefinite expressions is our assumption as a speaker. When we assume that somebody, that addressee we are talking to, would be able to understand a certain phrase and its reference, we might call it a definite one. Otherwise, if we think that the listener or the addressee would not be able to understand the reference of a certain phrase, then it cannot be called definite, rather it would be indefinite. And it is very particular in case of noun phrases. Let's have an example here. Andrea, who is one of the participants in a conversation, says, "Who is at the door?" And Bundi, who is the other participant, says, "It's the neighbor." Just look at it again. Who is at the door? It's the neighbor. Bundi doesn't name anyone who is at the door. Rather, she says it's the neighbor. But still, we see that the neighbor can be seen as a definite expression, because Bundi has assumed here that Andrea would be able to spot which neighbor she's talking about. So they both are, if they both are familiar with which neighbor is being talked about, then this expression is quite definite. And so and this is possible when, in two situations, or maybe in other situations also, when both Bundi and Andrea are familiar with the neighbor who is probably at the door, or there is probably only one neighbor. So when she says it's the neighbor, they automatically understand that it's the same one they have as a neighbor. So in such situations, the answer in the answer of Bundi is the neighbor. The neighbor may be seen as a definite noun phrase. However, if we assume the other situation, in which we assume that Andrea is not familiar with the neighbor Bundi is talking about, then we can say that this is not a definite expression, and in this way it might be said in a way that it's a neighbor. So not the neighbor, right? So the expression of definite and indefinite noun phrases is somehow different, grammatically different in English language. Moving forward, proper nouns and pronouns are generally definite. Pronouns such as you and we usually refer to individuals who are identifiable in a certain discourse. So therefore, we usually see them that they are definite expressions. Let's look at another example here. I have a Susie here who hasn't paid her taxes since 2006. In this example, you see we have a proper noun here, Susie, but it has an indefinite article in front of it. We have a before the word before the proper noun Susie. Therefore, use of indefinite article a marks Susie as indefinite, because in English we do mark various definite and indefinite expressions with grammatical things or grammatical entities, which I will explain in a while. It marks the fact that neither the speaker nor the addressee knows the particular individual which is named as Susie. And the Susie is new information in the discourse. The Susie has not been introduced to the speaker or the addressee in advance to this statement. So that's why the speaker has used the expression a Susie. Otherwise, it could be the Susie or mere Susie here. So we can assume here that this is Susie is an indefinite expression in this particular sentence. Definiteness in English is marked by the use of articles, in special the definite article which we say as the, and also by demonstrators like this and that. These both are definite expressions. Indefinite noun phrases are usually marked by a or an, which are indefinite articles also, and also by the absence of any article altogether. We can straightaway say things like oil, fire, apartment buildings, etc. So these definite and indefinite expressions in English are marked by certain grammatical features, especially by the use of articles in English language.